Today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to do the new V1 as Blight, as it is very different from what it was before, but it's still very doable. Before, you could do it wherever the hell you wanted to. Like, I could do it right here, and I would end up hugging this this dumpster, so I'd like hug around and do that. But you can't do that anymore. So you have to do it at an edge of a tile, so say right here. There's two ways to do it. So the first way is thinking it as similar to like a Wesker hug tech, where we go from one side and we go to the other, and then we use our rushes in between that transition. So for example, if we wanted to do like that, it's very simple. This is only possible when you're at like the short end of the loop where it's very tiny. I found it easiest when it's at the length of a pallet. This isn't a great example, but you could start here, and then you could end your bump on this side, and then you could rush forward. But let's say that a tile is too big to do this hug tech on. So let's say right here, we can't go from right to left because we're just going to either fuck it up like that, or if you do it, you don't make it all the way across. So what do we do in this situation where we can't go from one corner to the other? We do have to start it in the halfway point, and what you have to do is turn 45 degrees in the direction of the object. So say we wanted to go on the right side, we start on the left, and we have our camera 45 degrees to the side, and we walk into the tile like this, and you bump, and it will push you back just enough so that you can rush. So example would be like this, where you can instantly launch around the corner with your lethal rush. You just have to do it at the corner. So a few other examples of that. Say we want to do this truck, we just bam, and just like that. And you can kind of do this at any corner of any object that you want to. You just have to keep in mind of how big the wall is. And another thing too is that camera movement is very important when you're trying to do this, because let's say if we wanted to we're going back to this truck, if we wanted to hug it, if we're not all the way at the corner, let's say if we do it right here, we still get pushed back, but you need to make sure your camera is turned back to the direction you want to go, or else you just won't rush. So like, you just can't rush until you turn that camera. See how that was very delayed. But instead, if you go to it, bam, turn your camera the second you land that bump, so that you can instantly start rushing again. This version of the V1 is a lot harder to pull off, and it's a lot harder to hit survivors. So most of the time when I'm doing this, I'm not using the V1 to get a hit. So I'm not just like doing that, because most of the time you're not going to hit a survivor unless it's a very short loop. So instead what I do is just like incorporate this into some bump logic. So I go like bam, and do something like that. And you are a lot more likely to hit a survivor. And you could argue that like, okay, why don't you just do this, you know? There's two reasons for that. One, it looks less flashy. It doesn't look as cool, and you want to be the coolest Blight gamer known to man. But also, if you're running speed add-ons, right now I have one speed. I have shared notes just for this video. But let's say you have double speed. If you exhaust more rushes, you will be faster. And it's just about the same amount of time, but you make up more distance because of the speed. So we have 1, 2, 3 rushes. And so with both speed, that is, I don't know the numbers, but I'll have it on the screen. That's how fast you will be, and that'll make the difference between getting a hit on a survivor and not getting a hit. And then again, you just gotta be creative with it, because you can V1 from a lot of different spots still. You just can't do it wherever you want. You can't hug with it, so keep that in mind. Another thing that I found useful is when you're just walking, you can just V1 off of any object like that. So regardless if it is a tree or even a wall, I'll just walk up and I'll just be like bam, and do that. A few things you have to make sure though, in order to not get stuck on the wall or where you don't bump is make sure you are a little bit outwards. You can't be hugging the wall because if I do this and I try to bump, I can't. It just won't let me. So instead of being against the wall, you have to be a tiny bit outwards, so that when you walk, you can just turn your camera and rush, and then turn your camera back. But yeah, that's kind of the premises of it. We'll go on another map and show a few more examples. But this has a lot more examples where we can actually showcase the different forms of the V1. So again, like the Wesker hug tech, you go from one side and you just go to the other with your rushes in between, like that. And you can do this at like any end piece of these walls. You can do it right here. You can do it from here. You just have to be creative with your rushes. And then for the 45-degree angle one, again, you can do it at even more spots. So right here, we wouldn't be able to normally just go from one side to the other. So we have to come at it at a 45-degree angle, bump, turn your camera, and rush. And I would just go about and practice, because you can do this at a lot of spots. You just have to have the right camera movement and the right positioning. I did notice that this wire spool, it's very similar. It's very close to being able to do it the normal Wesker way, but you do need to turn your camera out a little bit more, like that. And yeah, I can go to main building here. And, you know, you can V1 this way and go into the loop like that. For something, a short loop like one of these guys, you can go around, you can bam. Not do that. Again, camera movement is super important, or else you're just going to do that and you're just going to keep bumping on everything. But 45-degree angle, go into the object, bump, go out, turn, rush. Again, it's this form of V1 is a lot harder than the old one, so it takes a lot of time. I haven't even mastered it, but just like I was doing something like that, and then like I said before, most of the time you're not going to get a hit on somebody by just doing a normal V1. You might get a hit here and there, but it's not gonna be guaranteed. It's not, again, it's a lot harder to pull off, and you don't get as much value. But incorporating a V1 into your bump logic can make the difference between getting a hit or not. So say, a clip that I like to do at this tile, you would V1 around here, and then you would get the hit before they can make it back to the pallet. And with the speed add-ons, that just ranks up your speed even higher so that you can just get them a lot sooner. Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other examples on this map to show you. I don't think I really showed Shack, but it's the same premises. Like doing it at this corner, you're gonna go again, 45-degree angle, bam, bam, just like that. Or another one that I like to do is that you can go from outside to inside, or even vice versa. You can go out, in and out. You can be like, bam, and hit them before they hit the window, or go to the pallets if they're close enough. And if you're going out, you can... This one's a lot harder to do, because you have a very tight window. So you can go out and you can go like that. And you can do something similar like that. But yeah, now I'll just show you a few examples that I've just went to custom games, and then if I have some clips, I will also showcase them at the end of this video. But that's pretty much it. Go practice, have fun with it. This definitely has made me stay invested into playing Blight, and so I think without this, I wouldn't be too invested into playing him. I probably would end up putting DBD or playing a different killer. But I find this one very fascinating, and yeah. So I hope I've rekindled your love for Blight after his hug tech was removed, and I will see y'all gamers later. One more thing I want to say, that I forgot to mention in the video is that a lot of my examples were me walking into the wall in order to do it. But let's say you're chasing somebody, they've altered that window, and now you have to go over here to do the V1. You can still do it. You need to take a tiny step outwards so that you can rush, because since when you're in a wall, you can't rush anymore. So make sure you just take your step back, and then you can do the whole V1 thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We're gonna get right to the examples.
Take a trip by myself and write my name in the sky. Hang from the stars, I dance on clouds and watch the world pass me by. It's my escape from the dread that we all face every day. We call it life, but in the end we're all just dust in a grave. Yeah, guess that's just the way it is. I can't fall asleep, so I lay there and I'll face it. Now I'm coming undone, falling endlessly in space again. Maybe I can find a will to finally find some faith again.
No way. That's it? That's it? I didn't even make that? Bro, are you kidding me? What the hell, bro? Honestly, trash Blight.